In a world that's constantly testing our limits, what if you could build your mind into a fortress? What if there was a way to take the ancient wisdom of the Stoics and turn it into a practical, modern framework for not just enduring hardship, but forging an unbreakable spirit? This isn't about wishful thinking, it's about a blueprint for mastering your mind. And today, we're going to build it, pillar by pillar. Let's be honest. We live in the most comfortable time in history, yet we've never been more anxious. We're told to chase happiness, but we get knocked off balance by things we can't control. We end up feeling fragile, reactive, and at the mercy of a chaotic world. But what if this isn't just how life is? What if it's the result of running on a faulty operating system? The Stoics, thinkers like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the playwright Seneca, and the former slave Epictetus, believed that mental strength wasn't a gift, but a skill. They saw the mind not as something delicate to be sheltered, but as a fortress to be built. And they left us the blueprints. While the ancient Stoics built their philosophy on 4 cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we're going to use those same timeless ideas as the 4 pillars for our modern fortress. Master these, and you master yourself. Let's lay the first stone. The first pillar is wisdom. And no, this isn't about getting a PhD or reading a mountain of books. For the Stoics, wisdom was about one thing above all: knowing what you can control and what you can't. The philosopher Epictetus called this the dichotomy of control, and it's a game changer. He argued that everything in life falls into one of 2 buckets. In one bucket are the things you control: your opinions, your actions, your judgments, your desires. In the other bucket is, well, pretty much everything else: your health, your reputation, what other people think, and the traffic on your way to work. Most of our anxiety, the Stoics claimed, comes from a simple mistake: we spend our lives trying to control what's in the wrong bucket. We stress over a client's decision, the economy, or a rude comment online, all things that are fundamentally outside our power. It's like trying to shout at the clouds to stop raining. It's a perfect recipe for feeling frustrated and powerless. So, how do we build this pillar of wisdom? The practice is simple but profound. At the start or end of each day, grab a notebook and draw a line down the middle. On one side, list the things you're worried about that are outside your control. On the other, list the things that are within your control. Worried about a big presentation? Outside your control: if your boss is in a bad mood, if the projector fails, if your biggest critic is in the room. Within your control: how well you prepare, the effort you put into your slides, the passion in your voice, and how you choose to respond to feedback. This isn't about pretending you don't care about the outcome. It's about redirecting all that frantic, worried energy away from useless anxiety and into productive action. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius was obsessed with this idea. He constantly reminded himself that events don't harm us, only our reaction to them can. By educating yourself on what truly belongs to you, your own mind, you lay the first, unshakable stone of your mental fortress. Once you've got a handle on what to focus on, it's time to act. The second pillar is courage, which the Stoics saw as the discipline of action. Wisdom is worthless if it just stays in your head. It has to be tested in the real world. But the Stoics had a unique take on this. The goal isn't necessarily to succeed. The goal is to act rightly and give it everything you've got, no matter what happens. They call this acting with a reserve clause. You throw your whole self into a task, but with a little asterisk: I will do everything in my power to succeed, fate permitting. That little phrase is revolutionary. It lets you go all in without tying your self-worth to the final score. You're judged not on whether you won or lost, but on whether you played your best game. This way of thinking frees you from two of life's biggest traps: the fear of failure and the anxiety of needing to succeed. Your only duty is to make the effort. So, how do you build up this kind of courage? The most powerful tool is voluntary discomfort. The Stoics would intentionally make their lives a little harder to build resilience. Seneca would eat simple meals, wear basic clothes, or sleep on the floor for a few days. Why? To ask himself, is this the thing I was so afraid of? He realized that not only was it survivable, but it made him deeply appreciate what he already had. You don't have to go that extreme. Take a cold shower. Fast for half a day. Do a workout that pushes you just past your "I can't" moment. These small acts of courage do two things: they prove you can handle more than you think, and they build momentum. You build the capacity for bravery by doing small, brave things, day after day. The third pillar is temperance, or as we might call it, self-control. This is the pillar that holds everything else up. It's the daily, moment-to-moment practice of managing your impulses so that you can live up to your own principles. It's the discipline that bridges the gap between the person you want to be and the person you are under pressure. We all know we shouldn't lose our temper in traffic or procrastinate on a big project. But knowing isn't enough. When emotions run high, our good intentions can crumble. Temperance is about strengthening your self-control so you can choose your response instead of being a slave to your reactions. The most practical exercise for this is the Stoic pause. The next time you feel a powerful, negative emotion bubbling up, anger, anxiety, frustration, don't just react. Create a tiny space between the trigger and your response. In that pause, you can ask yourself, is my judgment about this situation actually true? What would my best self do right now? That small gap is enough to break the cycle of knee-jerk reactions and allow you to choose a more rational, composed response. Another powerful practice is the evening review. Before bed, take a couple of minutes to look back on your day. Seneca would ask himself, what fault did I conquer today? What virtue did I practice? Where did I improve? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about honest assessment, like a craftsman inspecting their work. You're treating your character as a project, looking for areas to refine and celebrating the small wins. This is how you make philosophy a part of your DNA. The first three pillars are about building your inner strength. This final pillar, justice, is about why you're building it in the first place. The Stoics believed we are social animals, meant to live and work together. Justice, to them, was the most important virtue because it directs all the others. It's about recognizing that we have a duty to help each other and contribute to the common good. This demolishes the myth that Stoicism is a selfish philosophy. It's not about isolating yourself in your fortress, it's about becoming strong enough to be of use to others. As Marcus Aurelius put it, what is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee. Our own well-being is tied to the well-being of the community. The Stoic philosopher Heracles visualized this with a brilliant model, a series of concentric circles. The first circle is you, your mind. The next one out is your immediate family. Then your extended family, your neighbors, your countrymen, and finally, all of humanity. The goal of a Stoic, he said, isn't just to recognize these circles, but to actively pull them closer to the center. You work on yourself so you can be a better partner. You care for your family so your community is stronger. You serve your community to better the world. How do you practice this? It starts small. Look for opportunities to be fair, honest, and helpful in your daily interactions. Offer a hand without expecting anything in return. Listen with empathy. Share your knowledge. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good. You can even commit an injustice by doing nothing. Your wisdom, courage, and self-control find their ultimate purpose when you use them in service of others. These four pillars, wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, are an interconnected system for living a life of purpose and resilience. They're not just ancient ideas, they're a practical guide. So, which of these pillars do you need to work on the most? Let me know in the comments below. The Stoics never promised a life free from pain or problems. They offered something far better, a mind that could not be broken by them. They understood that external chaos is a given, but internal chaos is a choice. By building your life on this framework, you change your entire relationship with adversity. The pillar of wisdom teaches you to focus only on what you can control. The pillar of courage trains you to act with virtue, no matter the outcome. The pillar of temperance ensures these practices become second nature. And the pillar of justice gives all your efforts a higher purpose, the common good. This isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice. But it's the practice that transforms you from someone who is a victim of their circumstances into the architect of their own character. You stop being pushed around by the world and start moving through it with purpose and peace. You don't just endure life, you thrive in it. And in doing so, you forge a mind that is truly unbreakable.